Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we watched Tron ARES, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Now, I want to preface this by saying we're going to be honest about it, okay? I'm not going to, say things happened that didn't. I'm seeing people running with it's woke, and I really wouldn't say that it was woke. I don't know where they're getting this from. But it's like, I used to say that, like I said, the Haunted Mansion wasn't. And everybody's like, oh, no, everybody said it was. And they watched it after, they're like, oh, yeah, it really wasn't. And I'm like, we're going to tell you the truth. If something is like that, we'll say so. I just want to clarify that. Now, we'll do this in the two parts, spoiler-free and then spoiler-filled.
Yes, that's how we usually do it. So we're gonna talk about the movie. We're also going to talk about the box office projections for the movie, which, if judging by our own experience is anything to go by, I don't think this movie is going to do that great. There was literally nobody else in the theater.
No, there wasn't. We were the only ones in the theater for this film, for the first showing. And we've been checking other box offices around us, other theaters, bigger theaters. And now the IMAX ones are about half full, but most of them aren't that great. But ours, there was like only a few seats being sold, and there was literally no one in the theater with us. Nobody. We were it.
Yeah, so it was a very cozy experience. It's a good thing I went with you. I was not going to go see this movie. Myself. Yeah, Geeky was going to go by herself. She would have been all by herself, all alone.
That would have been fun, because I could have been like, I literally have the theater to myself.
That happened to me once. I went to go see Hercules when I was a teenager, and it was like a matinee on a Sunday, and it had been out for a couple of weeks, and I was like the only one in the theater, and it's kind of weird being
like the very first showing.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Sign up for notifications. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. We have also got some paywalled podcasts out there you can check out. More on the way. And again, if you're not getting notifications when we upload, that is the place to go and sign up. So yeah, I guess we'll talk about our feelings toward the movie.
Ironically, I have no strong feelings, which is funny to me because I cannot remember a time where I came out of it and I had no feelings either way. Like usually, as you've watched the show, I'm very big on feelings, and I have none. I don't. Was it the worst thing ever? No. Was it the best thing ever? No. Do I care? No. And that's surprising to me. Usually I get mad or something, or yeah, that was great. Nope, don't care. Have no feelings.
Yeah.
It was
I mean, you can't really well, here's the thing. I would say we can't really spoil this movie. The entire movie was basically spoiled by the trailers.
Pretty much.
You pretty much saw the entire movie if you watched the trailers. Yeah, I walked out of it because, look, unlike Geeky, I actually like Tron Legacy quite a bit. And I was looking forward to Tron 3, a movie that actually had Tron in it because they were setting it up. This is another movie with no Tron. It has a lot of nods, actually, in some ways, I think, to the OG Tron. More nods to the OG Tron.
I agree with that.
Than Legacy had, which I appreciate. I thought that was really cool.
There's only parts I kind of liked.
But it also felt kind of like a fanfic because of it,
I'll tell you what, every time we'll get the spoiler territory later, but every time it started to be like, okay. And then Jared Leto would say something stupid, and I'd be like, I'm there, I'm out of it.
Yeah.
And I just walked out like, do I hate it? No. Do I love it? No. I literally have no strong feelings toward it at all. It's like just apathy. And that's worse than loving it or hating it.
It literally is a Jared Leto movie that takes place in the Tron universe. It does what it says on the tin. And if that sounds like something that makes you all hot and bothered, then you will probably like this movie. Because that's all it is.
I mean, the visual's good. Yes.
Mostly. Oh yeah. Visuals are great.
The music, great. Good. Yes. And
yeah. The music was good.
That's good. Yes. That's good.
Yeah.
The rest of it, the music and the visuals are good.
Is the plot coherent? No. Does it scratch the itch that I had for a follow-up to Tron Legacy? No. It feels like a side story.
Does it scratch the itch for the follow-up to Tron at all? No.
No.
I mean, there's some things you remember, but that's about it.
This movie felt even more unnecessary than Tron Legacy. And I don't know what Disney's trying to do. Like, are they trying, like, obviously they have a ride, right? So they're like, oh, we're going to make Tron stick. People are over Star Wars. They're over Marvel. What else we got? Oh yeah, we got Tron, which we shelved to chase after Star Wars money and Marvel money. Let's do something with Tron. Oh, everybody's getting pretty old, or they don't want to do anything, or we don't give a shit. So, oh, Jared Leto's interested. Okay, let's use him. Yeah, and it basically is a fan fiction by Jared Leto for Jared Leto about Tron, because apparently he's a big Tron fan.
When I think of Jared Leto, you know what I think of? What was the guy who had his picture, but he could, the picture at age instead of him? My mind went blank.
Oh, Dorian Gray?
Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Dorian Gray. Just everything about him. And like he would have a picture of himself that he would, that's what he strikes me as. I'm sorry, that's unrelated, but I'm looking at his photo there and I'm like, that's what he reminds me of.
When I think of Jared Leto, I think of dandruff. He probably has a lot of it with all the hair. But
that's the next thing. Why don't you super soldier? Okay, if you're having a super soldier and it's a digital super soldier, you'd think, soldier, military, they're not going to have long hair and a beard. I mean,
because he wanted to be like a Messiah character. No, it's Jared Leto in a Tron suit. I mean, that's it. This movie is a Jared Leto movie. It's Morbius with LED lights. That's basically what you're watching.
Mm-hmm. And the critics, they're 54%. I think it's like that's probably about right. Like it's like in the middle. It's just stuck in the middle.
It didn't make me angry. I didn't walk out of the theater being like, what the hell was that? But I was also kind of like, I don't understand why we made this movie, because it didn't follow up Tron Legacy. It felt like it was kind of its own thing. And it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so, I don't know, just to get people to go to Disney World and ride the roller coaster. Is that?
No, I mean, I honestly can't remember the last time I went to a movie theater, saw a movie, and I walked out feeling nothing. And and for me, because I mean, I base everything on gut reaction and emotion. And that's just, you laugh, but it's true. That's who I am.
It is true. I'm the opposite. So
yeah. So that's always a real pleasant time.
Oh, yeah.
But I came out of there and I was just like, But I watch it again? Probably. Do I want to watch it again? No, not really.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be honest. If you're going to see this movie, I think you need to see this one on the big screen, because I don't think it's going to have nearly the impact on the small screen. Because I thought about it, I'm like, wow, that was a really cool effect. Or, oh man, you can feel the bass on the boom, boom. That's really cool. And I'm like, yeah, if you're watching this at home, unless you have a really good setup, you're not going to get the same effect.
If you have the option to go IMAX, I'd go IMAX with it if you want to spend the money, because the visuals are really impressive. I could think on IMAX when that, recognizer comes down the street, that would be like really flipping cool to see. Otherwise, you're with you. It's like watching it at home isn't going to be the same. And even then, I mean, like and that's not that much of a step up. I can't explain it other than that. It was okay. It was in the middle. I feel nothing.
We went to go see Tron Legacy when it came out, I think opening weekend, and we saw it in 3D.
Yeah, I don't want to do that again.
I think that was actually I'm pretty sure it was the first 3D movie I'd seen.
Me too. And I did not like the feeling I had after it.
No, that's why.
I was like going to barf and I couldn't stand up straight.
That's why 3D is not as popular as it used to be, right? But everything was 3D for a while. They were even going back and like remastering older movies in 3D. I was like, why? This one, though, I think probably would have made a good case for it, maybe.
Before we get to the spoiler stuff real quick, what would you rate it?
4 or 5.
Yeah. I think
10.
so too.
Not out of 5 people are like, oh my God. It's like, no, out of 10.
Out of 10.
I'd
agree. It's just there. It's like, I don't feel strongly either way. I mean, if you're attempting perfect balance of my feelings, you found a way to do it. And no one's found a way to do that. But that's not actually, that's not as exciting or great as it sounds.
I just kind of walked away from him like, so that was a Tron movie with Jared Leto in it. And
much.
that was the thing we saw in the theater. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
And I like Tron. I do. And I've wanted a Tron follow-up for a while, but then as soon as they said it's Jared Leto and it's not connected to Tron Legacy, I was like, I don't. I'm not interested.
It's kind of like I was when it was like, we're gonna get She-Ra. Yay. It's at the time, Noelle Stevenson.
Yeah, I was
shit.
Yeah,
Exactly what I
it was
said.
exactly what you thought it was going to be. And this was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Jared Leto in a Tron suit for 2 hours,
Yes,
Nine Inch
every
Nails
time you'd be
music.
like, okay, there's some deep thoughts. And kind of, we talk about Depeche Mode. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's go into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, then turn it off now and come back later. Most of you
Yeah.
probably gonna listen anyway because you're not gonna go see this movie.
Uh, there's really not much to spoil because you've seen the entire movie in the trailer pretty much. Like,
Well, there's a couple things that were weird. Like, okay, so now this girl and her sister are suddenly somehow the CEOs of Encom, even though they came out of
Yeah.
nowhere. And now,
Yeah.
oh, that's why it's, because she's, Asian and she's a woman and she's girl bossing. And it's like, not really. They definitely make sure she's flawed, and everything she does, there's kind of a reason. Like she suddenly can pick up a bike and one of the light cycles and ride it. It's like, well, she rode it badly, and they also made a point of saying that she used to race motorcycles, so she has background in it. I know actually my mom's neighbor, their daughter races motorcycles, and she's really good at it. I wanted to race motorcycles, and my dad said I was too good at it, so he wouldn't let me ride the motorcycle. And then they have things in it like, well, she cracked the code. It's like, yeah, but she was holed up with another guy for 3 months trying to figure it out. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a Ray thing where she picked up a lightsaber and, oh, I know how to use it. I'm better than there. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So I would argue that's not the case here.
And they had another dude that was, later in the movie is the guy who actually gets into the Dillinger systems. And he's like, yeah, that's why I got the corner office.
It was a dude. Yeah. So like people are like looking for reasons to think this is super, it's not, it doesn't go into politics at all.
No,
really.
that's the thing. Like it kind of sucks that we have to look at every movie that comes out anymore through that damn lens, because this would have been an issue 15 years ago. Nobody would have thought.
No, if you would have saw this 15 years ago, no one even thought that. It was just like, because what pisses me off is as soon as there's like, oh, well, there's a girl, so it's got to be that's like, no. There are CEOs, for fuck's sake. There are female bike racers, for fuck's sake. Come on. But like it was really weird because like her and her sister supposedly were like in charge, came out of nowhere. Like, who the fuck are these people? They never explain. You just know that, Sam Flynn just took off for personal reasons. They don't explain why. And these women are there for no reason. Well, the one's dead and the other one's still alive, but the one girl's in charge now for no reason.
That pissed me off because it was like, okay, I mean, they were leaving the door open for him to come back at a later date, I'm sure, but it was like, yeah, we had a whole nother movie setting Sam Flynn up, and then we're just going to kind of hand wave him and bring these two new girls in and just, forget Sam Flynn was the thing. Now, the one thing I will say though is that they do treat the Flynn legacy with respect. If the movie were woke, it would have been like, that
toxic
Flynn,
white male,
toxic white men screwed this company up, and it took a couple of Asian women to set things right, and blah blah blah. No, none of that happened. They basically,
the real villain of the movie is a black woman.
I was shocked that they almost had at one point at the end. Again, this is spoilers, so spoilers. I thought Jared Leto was gonna kill Athena, and I'm like he had her on her knees, chopped her hand off, and I thought he was gonna kill her. I'm like, are they gonna have a white dude kill a black woman in a Disney movie? Oh my god! And
they didn't. Well,
no,
we'll get to that point eventually. Speaking of black women, they had to make sure they get Robin Roberts from GMA in it a couple times. I shit you not, with GMA in the corner. They were like having these digital news reports. I was like, that's so stupid. But anyway.
Yeah, the intro was basically just legacies, how they did with the television set with Flynn, Kevin Flynn doing his thing from the 80s. But you can tell
it's his voice from now, because it's not the same voice he had back then.
No.
It was like, that's not even the right voice. So, you got the other guy, Dillinger's, it's his grandson.
And I have questions about the Dillinger family tree now, because they had Cillian Murphy was supposed to play Dillinger Jr. in Tron 3, and he was in briefly in Tron Legacy, and they just like pretended he doesn't exist, I guess.
No, and then now Gillian Anderson is the daughter. So
the daughter.
I mean, that maybe it's her brother. The other one's her brother.
That's what I'm thinking. But he was working for Encom, which I thought was weird.
Well, now they have their own and it's their own thing. And of course, when you go into their computer, everything's red. And it's all like very like dangerous looking and rough looking, and like, it's like, very, well, not streamlined, but looking like it's more of like a prison. And then when you're in their system and the NCON system, there's like digital trees and all this other stuff like that. And for some reason their soldiers suck. But
they're peaceniks, man.
The whole point of this is that they've both companies have found a way to bring things from the digital world into our world, but they can't stay for longer than 29 minutes till they de-res themselves all over the place. Okay.
They do. They just kind of explode. They scream and explode.
And then 3D printed things, and somehow they feel pain, they scream and explode. So they're trying to find the permanence code, which apparently Cora had, and they're trying to find this permanence code. And that's why she spends all this time with this other guy in this like, for some reason in this hut in Alaska, which makes no sense. Why the fuck isn't it in Alaska? They don't ever explain this.
I don't know.
Other than the fact that they need an anomaly. And they finally find it in the back door to his games and stuff. And then they were able to generate an orange tree that can stay longer than 29 minutes because they're trying to like cure cancer and feed people. And Dillinger's trying to sell his stuff, Tron, ARES, and these other people to military usages. So he wants the permanence code so they don't find out that his stuff disintegrates in 29 minutes. So basically the whole movie is them trying to get the girl that's the CEO of the other company so that they can steal the code because she found it.
Yeah.
That's basically what it boils down to.
On an old floppy disk, in
a back door to a system that she has access to at the NCOM building. So why the fuck does she have to go to Alaska?
That is a good question. We have to go to Alaska and go through all these 5-inch floppy disks to find the code. But here it was on our server the whole time.
So she didn't need to go there to begin with, And so anyway, so they got this Tron ARES guy, and as soon as he sees rain, it suddenly starts making him feel something, and then he starts questioning things. Yeah. And then they send him and a team into NCOM, the back door, to try to find her file, to track her down. And because they don't know where she is, and she's in Alaska. And when they're in there, he sees her file. And the more he learns about her, the more he's like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to be a bad guy, even though that's what he's programmed to do. For no reason, he decides he's going to not be a bad guy. So they go after her to catch her. And so, she does ride a light cycle, but she screams like holy shit, I can't control this thing.
She screams like a girl the whole time she's on the light cycle.
But they end up doing is they end up, sucking her into their system. So she gets sucked into the machine. ARES has to this Dillinger guy tells them to go ahead and kill her to get the code, because to get the code out of her, they're going to have to kill her.
Like extract it. And then,
and they said it'll kill her. And he's like, we'll do it anyway. He doesn't, even though she's a real person, he knows it. And so Tron doesn't do that, and he gets her out into the real world, and she promises to get him the code, and then she puts him into the old system.
Yes.
And the old system where you get retro Tron.
That is the best part of the movie when they go into 80s Tron. And it doesn't last very long, but they go into him like, oh, I recognize this. We get Bit, and we get the music, and we get
his coloring.
He goes gray like the whole. I'm like, yeah, why can't we? And that's a problem I have with this one, and to some extent with Legacy, is I understand it's supposed to be a more advanced system, but it just looks like the real world, but people are wearing LED lights. I like the original where there was a clear distinction between the real world and the computer world.
Legacy too, and there isn't as much as a distinction here. I don't think there's not as much of a distinction. And and he meets Flynn, and Flynn gives him the code because they talk about music and Depeche Mode. Because apparently Jared Leto's obsessed with Depeche Mode. Don't get me wrong, I like Depeche Mode, but he's like apparently obsessed with it. And that's like, you have really cool visuals. Then you have him having a moment with this girl talking about her sister dying, and then about how he likes Depeche Mode. Yeah,
it felt kind of like I said, it feels like a fan film, like Jared Leto.
It's Jared Leto's fan film.
Yeah, Jared Leto presents a movie for Jared Leto, written by Jared Leto, starring Jared Leto in Tron, because you like Tron as a kid, but he's going to be the main character. And it's just like, of course.
But there's no Tron in this movie. So stop saying it's Tron. It's not Tron.
I thought for a second. So after he goes and he gets the permanence code from Flynn, he comes back to the real world, and then he turns blue. bluish white. And I'm like, I'm waiting for him to be like, bitches, I remember I'm actually Tron or something like that.
Thank God.
It was like,
That
oh,
would've
thank
been
God they
worse.
didn't do
Then I
that.
would have been probably angry. But like, but while all this is going on, then that Athena, which was the other one that was second command, he puts her as the master control program. Dillinger's grandson puts her as the master control program, and then tells her no matter what she has to go catch this girl and bring her back to their grid or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she ends up killing his mother and generating all this stuff. That's where you get that's where the recognizer comes from and all this shit. It's her going rogue and trying to take over. And then he's trying to stand up to her, and it was funny though. But that was in character for a Dillinger, that whenever, you're challenged by someone stronger than you, you just play like someone, like a puppy that someone kicked. And just be like, oh, it's okay, do what you want to do, kind of thing. But that actually isn't character for Dillinger. So.
Well, they're weasels. The whole family.
That's the whole point, but Dillinger wasn't a homicidal maniac. He didn't actually kill people. He lied and cheated and took the job from Flynn, but he didn't even know the MCP was sucking people in and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
He was just a cheater pants bad dude, but he wasn't like a homicidal maniac.
No, this one's bad to the bone for sure, and he's crazy too. Actually, here's what annoyed me about it, because I like Evan Peters, but he reminded me of was Jesse Eisenberger from the Lex Luthor from
which is not a compliment.
No, it's not. No, from the Snyderverse. Yeah, he basically is Lex Luthor from the Snyderverse, which is not a compliment. I hate that version of Lex Luthor, and that's pretty much what this guy is.
And
the whole movie.
But at the end, you think he's the bad guy, and he starts out as the main bad guy, but the main bad guy becomes the black woman. Athena is the main bad guy. So she's trying to catch this girl, and she has her trapped, and she's basically like, I'm going to kill you when we get you back after I get the code. And she's the main bad guy. She's the bad guy, which her time runs out, and they hack the Dillinger system and poison the Dillinger system, which wipes her out. And that's the end of that, except for the fact that now the cops are coming for Dillinger's grandson. I can't remember the guy's name. What was his name? Dillinger's grandson.
Just Dillinger.
Dillinger's grandson. Anyway, how much give a shit I have.
I don't remember many of the names. I'm like, okay, that's Dillinger Jr.
What was the girl's name? Was it Erica?
Eve Kim.
Eve Kim, that's right. I can't remember what
it was all. Well, you can remember. I remembered it because I remember thinking to myself, this movie is all about Eve, because it basically was. It was just like Eve.
She came out of nowhere. I never explained where they came from.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make it. It doesn't make it woke. It just makes it bad from a continuity standpoint. Like, we just kind of hand wave the Flynns until we bring Jeff Bridges back at the very, very end for
like a couple minutes, and that's like really boring, actually.
Yeah, it was very boring. Like, let's go for a walk and talk about Depeche Mode. I'm like,
hey, man. And then at the end, Dillinger's grandson, blasts himself back into the grid because they're going to catch him.
Yeah.
And you can say about that. It was obvious what they're going to do with it, but.
Yeah, this is very like MCU. They have a mid-credit scene where he goes back into the grid and he picks up a disc. And they go, Sark, and he starts to turn into Sark.
Yes.
Because, Dillinger equals Sark. So I'm like, okay, so they're setting up, it feels like they're trying to set up another sequel, but they did that with the last movie. And so in 20 years, when they do Tron 4 with a completely different cast, they'll just hand wave it and just be like, yeah.
And then whatever. The thing is, and what happens to Ares, you may ask? Okay, so Ares is now, can't disintegrate. So he's like a human, basically, I guess. And so he takes off, and he's sending her postcards as he travels the world on his regular bicycle or motorcycle, just traveling around, checking it out. I shit you not. That's how it ends.
He just like rides off into the sunset with his long hair blowing, and I'm going to be.
Yep. That's
bohemian lifestyle.
Oh, did you catch the trash can that she fell in and said the Dumont on it?
No,
I did. I was like, I get that one. But yeah, so they had little Easter eggs hidden in there and stuff. But it was really like, the visuals were cool and the music was cool. Just like the critics keep saying, visuals and music was good. That's true. True. But the rest of it wasn't great. And you walk out with like, eh.
It felt like, I mean, it really did not feel like a proper sequel. It felt like a spin-off movie. It feels like, because I guess what the original plan was, if I remember correctly, they were going to do Tron 3, and they were going to have the Ares character in Tron 3, but he was going to be kind of like Athena, where he was trying to track down Sam Flynn and Cora. So they just kind of made him.
They're going to bring Tron back.
Eventually, maybe. I don't know. You know what would be nice is if Tron is in Tron 4. Actually, you know what they should do?
They should have stopped it for Tron. They were going to put Tron in it. It's called Tron.
They need to have. Okay, so the next movie, guys, here's how you make good on it. The next movie is just called Trons, and we just have a whole bunch of Trons in the movie. Just all the Trons.
They're all Tron. Everybody's Tron. I'm sorry. People like the second movie, and you're allowed to like it because Kneon likes it. That's fine.
I like the second movie.
You can like it. But there's no Tron.
Well, there's less Tron. There's less Tron in this Tron movie.
Should give you even less Tron.
Well, like at least
Tron.
At least he was in a flashback.
I'm more passionate about that than I do about this actual movie.
Yeah, he was in Tron Legacy. He was in a flashback, and then it turned out that Rinsler, oh, spoiler, guys, is like 15 years old. Rinsler, the bad guy, actually was Tron, but they were setting it up so he would be Tron in Tron 3, and that never happened. And Bruce Boxleitner was never even called for this. And I mean, it was a series of very weird decisions that leads to a movie that I don't fully understand why it exists, other than Disney's testing the waters to see if they can get away with making more Tron movies.
Yeah, this movie does not need to exist.
No, it does not need to exist.
It does not need to exist. It's like there's no reason for it.
It's not terrible. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you it's a terrible movie. I can just tell you it's a pointless movie. It's not woke. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's just not.
Well, it's not even bad. It's just not. That's the thing. Like, I can't say it's bad, but it's not good either. You know what I'm saying? It's like in that weird.
You know what you're saying? Somehow they managed to make me feel nothing. I don't even know how they did it. Like, I can swear to God, I've never walked out of a movie theater and felt nothing. And that's how I came out of this. I literally felt nothing. And that's actually somehow worse than hating it. You know, if you feel nothing, it's like, that's bad, guys. That's the best way to sum it up. Tron, you'll feel nothing. That's basically what it is. And then they're trying to say, some articles are saying it's going to still do 50-some million. It was funny. We went to the theater.
Yeah.
Kneon was joking with we were the only ones there. And he was joking with the guy that was behind the register. And the guy's like, well, you go sit wherever you want because there's no one here but you. And then Kneon said, they're supposed to make $50 million. And the guy just was shaking his head.
No, that was the guy working at the theater. The guy was like, because I mean, he was actually shocked we came in to see it. Like, wait, somebody's gonna see Tron shit. We weren't even gonna bother running it.
Yeah, he was just like,
damn it,
like, no,
you gotta play Tron now.
And I'm looking at the same theater, and there's hardly any seats sold all weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking still under 10 seats left. That doesn't mean people won't walk in and just buy tickets. Not in the number, but when we're seeing it in around the Pittsburgh area and stuff. Most of the theaters aren't that full unless you go to IMAX. And then they're about half full.
About half full. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, if you're going to go see this movie anyway, I would, if you can, probably go the IMAX version of it. Because the visuals are good.
If you're just there to see the visuals, you won't be disappointed. The visuals are good. The music is good. But if you're expecting good characters and story.
If you're expecting a plot.
If you're expecting, anything other than it kind of reminded me of the Superman movie with Lex. Like, he's just trying to kill Superman. He's trying to to get what he wants. Go for the visuals and the sound if you want to see it. Otherwise, there's no point really. I'm just being honest with you. Is it something to be mad about? Is it like girl boss power? No, but they did make the black woman the bad guy. But she was always, but her part of her problem is that she has inferiority complex because she was always behind the white guy.
I think the
white guy's the hero.
Low key had a crush on him too. She wasn't real.
Something like that. The white guy's the
something
hero.
going on there.
So, there you go.
So I'm like, she was, I think she played one of the witches in The Acolyte because I know she looked familiar. I was watching her. Now I was actually getting, I wasn't bothered by her character at all. I was actually getting kind of like Grace Jones vibes from her. She had a very kind of commanding presence. I think she actually in that particular role, I think she was good.
She nailed what she was supposed to do. Yes.
Yeah, she did her job. I think She was menacing.
And a side note to this about the box office performance. Call me crazy, but if you're going to promote a movie, and you're doing all this big promotion and push before the movie, you're probably better to show the trailers and promote the movie instead of doing a Jared Leto and company fashion show at every promotional shoot the whole way there. Every promotion leading up to this until like a week or so out was pretty much just here they are here they are there. There's one we've played the video. It's like they're walking on a runway. No one fucking cares what Jared Leto is wearing. No one cares, Jared Leto. No one cares what you were wearing, dude. They don't care. They wanted to see the movie to see if it was any good. And so you already lost people there. You should have been putting all your effort into getting people into the theater, and they aren't coming.
No, they're definitely not. Now they're saying so we're getting mixed messages here because we have some outlets saying Tron's gonna overperform this weekend. But no, judging by what we're seeing, at least here in the Pittsburgh area, no, that is not going to be the case. They're saying, what are the box office predictions for opening weekend according to Superhero Hype? Now they're adjusting it down to 33 to 45 million. I said when we walked out, I said this thing's going to be lucky to make 35.
Yeah, you did say that.
I'm like, there's no way in hell it's going to make 50.
The only reason it's going to make if it makes money is because people are going to go to IMAX. But I think it's another case of where after the first weekend, it's probably going to just fall off a cliff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's whatever's left of it.
Well, what's interesting is I'm planning on taking the kids this weekend. They're going to re-release the Dark Crystal for a couple of days, and it would be hilarious if more people went to go see the Dark Crystal than the new Tron movie.
There were more people in the theater to see Snow White. Like it was this, there was several people in the theater to see Snow White besides our daughter and I. There was another family there was a couple ladies with several kids. There was an older lady behind us who talked to us. There were some other women that were there. There were several people in the theater, and it was the same time of day, and everything else. There was nobody but us. We literally were the only people in the theater.
Yeah. And that I can't remember the last time that's happened. We went to go see Casper. I took my daughter to go see, they had the Casper 30th anniversary. We went to go see Casper, and there were a couple other people in the theater to go see Casper.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Casper, which has been out for 30 years and everybody's seen it on TV.
That was later in the night too, because we went at 4:00. People work, but I get that. But when I'm looking at the 7:00 showing at the time, there was 2 seats sold.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's tomorrow. There's 5 seats sold in the whole theater for 7:00.
The popcorn bucket looks cool.
The popcorn bucket was cool.
I will give you that. Arcade machine. It was pretty cool.
But it said ARES on it. I didn't.
If it was original Tron, if it was classic Tron, if it looked like the Tron 80s arcade cabinet, I would have bought it. I would have
bought it too. But it didn't. It said Tron ARES, and I was like, okay.
No, I don't want it.
So there you have it, guys. I have more passion talking about why Tron wasn't in it, and stuff that I did. So I honestly cannot remember a time where I came out of the theater feeling nothing, and I literally did. Because I even said to Kneon, I was like, this is the strangest thing, and I feel so weird because I've never had this happen that I can remember, and it's not like me at all. And that's how it just.
It's a Jared Leto Tron movie. It's exactly.
Jared Leto does not get me excited. So you have that, baby.
I have that.
You have that.
If it was Henry Cavill, they could put Henry Cavill.
You get more excited than Jared Leto. So
all right, well that's cool. That's cool. I'll take it. All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
There it is, guys. I'm gonna say 4 or 5, and you said what? 5.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Out of 10, just to be clear. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.